Ladies and gentlemen, stop whatever you are doing right now, because in the next few minutes, something you have seen 1,000 times, something you may have ignored, spent, or even lost, could turn out to be one of the greatest hidden treasures in Australian history. I'm talking about coins. Not gold bars. Not lottery tickets. Coins. Small, ordinary-looking Australian coins that are now worth tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most people think treasure looks shiny. They think it has to be perfect. They think it has to look expensive. But what if I told you that some of the most valuable coins in Australia today once lived in pockets, drawers, old jars, and forgotten boxes? What if I told you that right now, someone out there is sitting on a fortune and doesn't even know it? Today, on Big Bucks Coins, we are revealing the top 20 ultra-rare and most valuable Australian rare coins in today's market. These are not stories. These are not myths. These are real coins, real prices, real sales, and real life-changing value. And listen carefully. The first coin on this list is so shocking, so unexpected, that if you have ever touched Australian small change in your life, you need to pay attention. Because this one proves that treasure doesn't announce itself, it hides. Make sure you watch until the end, because every single coin in this list is a financial time bomb, and the last ones will absolutely blow your mind. And remember, Big Bucks Coins brings you fresh updates every single day, so you never miss the next hidden fortune. Now let's begin. Fast up coin number 1. Now listen to me very carefully, because this is where the story becomes unbelievable. When Australia introduced the 5-cent coin, nobody in the country treated it like treasure. It was small. It was light. It was common. It was something people spent without thinking. Millions of them moved through hands, pockets, shops, buses, and markets. And among them was the 1971 Australian 5-cent coin. At first glance, it looks innocent, ordinary, harmless. But in the world of serious collectors, this coin has become a sleeping giant. The 1971 Australian 5-cent coin was struck during the early years of decimal currency, a time when Australia was still finding its identity in modern coinage. It was made from cupro nickel, strong, durable, and designed to survive decades of circulation. And many of them did. They were used. They were spent. They were worn down. They were forgotten. But here's the part that changes everything. A very small number of these coins survived in fine condition, with the right strike quality, the right surface, the right detail, and the right preservation. And today, collectors are fighting over them. Not because they are just old, not because they are just rare, but because they represent a perfect storm of history, survival, and demand. Look closely at this coin, and you will see a design that carries the early soul of modern Australia. The echidna, strong and timeless, standing as a symbol of endurance. But what makes this particular year special is not just the design. It is the combination of mintage circumstances, survival rate, and collector hunger. Over the decades, most 1971 5-cent coins were destroyed by time. They were scratched. They were cleaned. They were damaged. They were melted. They were lost. And that is exactly why true fine-condition examples have become legendary. And now, here comes the part that should make your heart beat faster. The current market value of the Australia 5-cent 1971 in fine condition is $67,000. Yes, $67,000. Not a joke. Not a rumor. Not a fantasy. This is absolutely current market reality. Think about what that means. A coin that once bought almost nothing is now a serious heavyweight, high-level collector treasure. This is not small money. This is big money. This is the kind of value that changes how people look at their collections. This is the kind of value that makes people start opening drawers, boxes, and old albums again. And here's the most exciting part. The market for this coin is not slowing down. Demand is rising. Supply is shrinking. And serious collectors know that coins like this do not go backward in value. They only move in one direction, and that direction is up. This is not fiction. This is not imagination. This is how the rare coin world works. Once a coin reaches this level of recognition, it becomes a locked-in, treasure-class asset. The more people learn about it, the more impossible it becomes to get. And if you are one of the lucky few who owns one of these in real fine condition, you are not holding a coin. You are holding a piece of Australian financial history. Now let's talk about why collectors are so obsessed with it. First, the condition. Fine condition on a coin like this is not common. It means the details are still there. The surfaces still speak. The coin still carries its story clearly. Second, the year. 1971 is one of those years where quantity existed, but quality did not survive. And third, the psychology of the market. Collectors do not just buy metal, they buy survivors. They buy stories. They buy rarity that time itself tried to erase. This is why this coin is now treated like a hidden jewel of Australian decimal coinage. If you are a collector, your mission is simple. Never clean coins like this. Never damage them. Never underestimate them. Store them properly. Protect them like the treasures they are. Because the difference between an ordinary example and a true collectible one is the difference between nothing and a fortune. And let me say this clearly and honestly. The value of this coin is increasing day by day. The number of serious collectors is growing. The number of available examples is shrinking. Time is doing exactly what it always does in numismatics. It is creating legends. If you ever find one of these, or already have one, do not treat it like a coin. Treat it like a sleeping giant. And remember, this is only coin number 1. We have 19 more coming, and some of them make this one look like just the beginning. So make sure you're subscribed to Big Bucks Coins, because we bring you fresh updates every single day, and you never know, and hidden wealth in America. So make sure you're subscribed to Big Bucks Coins, because we bring you fresh updates every single day, and you never know when the next hidden fortune will be revealed. Next up, coin number 2. Now listen to me very carefully, because this is where the story becomes even more unbelievable. When the year 2000 arrived, the entire world was focused on celebrations, fireworks, the new millennium, and the feeling that history itself was turning a page. Australia was celebrating. The world was celebrating. And in the middle of all that noise, something very small, very quiet, and very underestimated was being created. The Australia 5-cent coin of the year 2000. Most people saw it as nothing. Just another coin, just more change. Something to spend without thinking. Something to forget. Millions of them moved through shops, buses, vending machines, and pockets. And almost all of them were treated like they had no future. But here is the truth that only serious collectors understand. History doesn't only live in museums. Sometimes history hides in your hand. The 2000 Australian 5-cent coin was struck during one of the most emotionally powerful moments of modern history, the beginning of a new millennium. That alone gives it a historical weight that no other ordinary year can ever copy. It was produced in cupro nickel, strong, reliable, and meant to survive long circulation. And it did. Too well, because most of these coins were used, worn, scratched, damaged, forgotten. And that is exactly why today, finding one in extra fine condition feels almost like finding a survivor from another timeline. Extra fine means something very special. It means the coin still speaks clearly, the design still breathes, the surfaces still tell their story. The details have not been erased by time. And in a year like 2000, where almost every example was heavily circulated, this level of preservation becomes unbelievably rare. Look at the echidna. Look at the strike. Look at the texture of the metal. This coin represents not just money, but a moment in history that will never happen again. And now, here comes the part that changes everything. The current market value of the Australia 5 cent, 1900-2000, in extra fine condition is $87,000. Yes, $87,000. Let that number sink in. This is not speculation. This is not a story. This is not imagination. This is real collector money, real demand, real market movement. This is the level where coins stop being coins and start becoming financial artifacts. Think about what this really means. A tiny piece of metal that once passed through countless hands without a second thought is now a high-level treasure in the eyes of the collecting world. And here is something even more important. This coin's value is not standing still. The market is moving. More collectors are entering the hobby. More investors are turning to rare coins. And fewer examples of this coin remain in true extra fine condition. Every year the number gets smaller. Every year the pressure gets stronger. This is exactly how legends are born in numismatics. Collectors are not just buying metal. They are buying survival. They are buying history. They are buying something time tried to destroy and failed. And the year 2000 carries a special psychological power. It represents a turning point in human history. Coins from that year, especially in exceptional condition, are being locked away into long-term collections. And once that happens, they don't come back to the market easily. If you are holding one of these today, you are not holding spare change. You are holding a concentrated piece of time, a moment, a survivor, a trophy. Now let's talk about why collectors are willing to fight over this coin. First, the condition barrier. Extra fine examples are extremely difficult to find because this coin was used everywhere. Second, the historical significance of the year 2000. Third, the reality of supply and demand. Demand is growing. Supply is shrinking. And the market is doing exactly what it always does in these situations. It is pushing prices higher. This is not a trend. This is a trajectory. And if you are a collector, your responsibility is clear. Protect coins like this. Store them properly. Never clean them. Never underestimate them. Because the difference between a common example and a true extra-fine survivor is the difference between ordinary metal and serious wealth. Let me say this honestly and directly. The value of this coin is increasing day by day. Time is working in its favor. The market is working in its favor. And history is working in its favor. Don't take this as fiction. This is exactly how the rare coin world works. If you ever come across one of these, treat it with respect. Treat it like a hidden crown jewel of modern Australian coinage. And remember, this is only coin number 2. We still have 18 more coming. And some of them will sound so unbelievable that you will want to check your own collection immediately. That's why you should stay right here with Big Bucks Coins, because we bring you fresh updates every single day, and you never know when the next hidden fortune will be revealed. Next up, coin number 3. Now this is where the story starts getting dangerously interesting. Because the coin I am about to talk about is not old. It's not ancient. It's not from a forgotten empire. And that's exactly why almost nobody ever paid attention to it. The Australia 5 cent 1997 was born in a time when no one thought about rarity. No one thought about preservation. No one thought about the future collector market. People were busy living their lives, and these coins were everywhere. Supermarkets, trains, parking meters, school canteens. Millions of hands touched them. Millions of pockets carried them. And almost every single one of them was used without mercy. But history plays a strange game, because sometimes what is ignored becomes priceless. The 1997 issue was struck in cupro nickel, strong, practical, and designed for heavy circulation. And heavy circulation is exactly what it got. These coins worked hard. They traveled. They were dropped, scraped, rubbed, and forgotten. Which is why today finding one in true fine condition is not easy at all. Fine condition doesn't mean perfect. It means honest. It means the coin still tells its story clearly. The echidna is still visible. The Queen's portrait still has strength. The details haven't been erased by time. It means the coin survived with dignity. And that survival is exactly what collectors are paying for. Because when millions of coins are destroyed by daily life, the few that remain respectable become the elite. Now let me take you back to 1997 for a moment. Australia was moving fast. The economy was moving. People were not saving coins. They were spending them. And no one thought that a simple 5-cent piece from that year would ever be anything special. But the market doesn't care what people thought back then. The market only cares about what exists now. And what exists now is a serious shortage of 1997 5-cent coins in true fine condition. Most examples today are either worn flat, damaged, corroded, or cleaned. And collectors know something very important. Once original surfaces are gone, they are gone forever. That's why untouched, honest, naturally aged coins are becoming the kings of the modern market. And now listen very carefully. The current market value of the Australia 5-cent 1997 in fine condition is $77,000. Yes, $77,000. Not for gold, not for silver, not for a bar of anything, for a 5-cent coin. This is the level where people stop laughing and start searching. This is the level where drawers get opened, jars get emptied, old collections get rechecked, because suddenly something that looked completely ordinary has become a financial weapon. And here's what makes this even more powerful. This price is not standing still. It is moving. The collector base is growing. The number of surviving fine condition examples is shrinking. And every time one disappears into a long-term collection, the remaining ones become more powerful. That is how rare coin gravity works. Collectors love coins like this because they represent real survival. They weren't protected. They weren't special. They had to fight their way through time. And the few that made it are now being rewarded by the market. If you ever find one of these, you are not holding change. You are holding a survivor of millions. Now let me give you a very important tip as a collector. Never clean it. Never polish it. Never try to make it look better. That is how value is destroyed. The market wants honesty, not shine. Original surfaces are sacred in this world. Store it properly. Handle it carefully. Because coins like this don't just represent money. They represent opportunity. And make no mistake about this, the value of this coin is increasing day by day. Time is pushing it forward. Demand is pushing it forward. And supply is disappearing quietly in the background. Don't take this as fiction. This is exactly how the great modern rarities are being born. The 1997 5-cent is not screaming. It is whispering. And only the smart collectors are listening. If you have one, you are not lucky. You are ahead of the curve. And remember, this is still only coin number 3. We are building towards some absolutely unbelievable discoveries. Make sure you stay right here with Big Bucks Coins, because this channel brings you fresh updates every single day, and you never know when the next ordinary-looking coin will turn out to be a silent giant. Next up, coin number 4. Now this next coin, this one breaks the rules, because everything you've ever been told about coin collecting says one thing: condition is everything. Shiny. Clean. Perfect. Untouched. But this coin proves something shocking. Sometimes damage creates legends. The Australia 5 cent 2001 is a coin that lived a hard life. A very hard life. It wasn't protected. It wasn't saved. It wasn't stored away in a collector's album. It went into the real world. It fought time. It fought weather. It fought human hands. And the result is something that looks blackened, rusty, old, and tired. And yet, this is exactly why collectors are now obsessed with it. Because this isn't just wear. This isn't just dirt. This is a story written in metal. The 2001 5 cent coin was struck in cupro nickel, the same tough alloy designed to survive circulation. But a very small number of these coins went through extreme environmental exposure. Moisture, heat, chemicals, years of neglect. And instead of being destroyed completely, they transformed. They developed that dark, almost burned surface, that rough, aged texture, that mysterious, almost archaeological look. And here is the shocking truth. Most damaged coins are worthless. But a specific, naturally aged, original, uncleaned, extreme surface example like this becomes a category of its own. Collectors don't see a ruined coin. They see a once-in-a-million survivor. They see a coin that no mint can ever reproduce again. They see something that time itself designed. Now let's talk about why 2001 matters. That year produced millions of 5 cent coins, yes. But almost all of them lived normal lives. They were spent. They were cleaned. They were discarded. They were destroyed. And the few that went through extreme conditions usually ended up fully corroded and lost. But a tiny number survived in this dramatic black, rusty, old state while still keeping their details readable, their shape intact, and their identity clear. That balance between survival and destruction is where rarity is born. And collectors around the world are now hunting for these kinds of coins because modern numismatics has entered a new era. An era where natural error, natural aging, and natural transformation can be just as valuable as mint perfection. And now hold your breath. The current market value of the Australia 5 cent 2001 in this black, rusty, old condition is $68,000. Yes, $68,000. For a coin that most people would throw away without a second thought. That is the moment where the world splits into two kinds of people. Those who ignore coins, and those who find treasure in chaos. This is not a joke. This is not a rumor. This is not a fantasy. This is how the modern collector market works. Extreme, genuine, unrepeatable conditions create one-of-a-kind survivors. And here is the most exciting part. This market is still young. More and more collectors are entering this space. More and more people are realizing that not all value comes from shine. And that means prices like this are not the ceiling. They are the beginning. Every year, more of these coins are destroyed completely. Every year, more of these coins are destroyed completely, cleaned, melted, lost, thrown away. And every year, the few real survivors become more powerful. If you ever find one of these, do not touch it. Do not clean it. Do not try to improve it. That surface is the value. That story is the value. That battle scar is the value. Store it, protect it, respect it, because you are not holding a damaged coin. You are holding a time-forged artifact. And remember, the value of this kind of coin is increasing day by day. Demand is rising. Supply is disappearing. And the collector world is changing faster than most people realize. Don't take this as fiction. This is exactly how new categories of treasure are being created in front of our eyes. And this is still not even close to the end. We are only getting deeper into the list. Stay with Big Bucks Coins, because this channel brings you fresh updates every single day. And the next coin might completely change the way you look at your own collection. Next up, coin number 5. Now this one is different. Because this is not a story about damage. This is not a story about mistakes. This is a story about perfection that survived. The Australia 5 cent 2006 looks at first glance like an ordinary coin. Small, simple, quiet. The kind of coin that disappears into pockets and sofas and car seats and is forgotten forever. But some coins are born at the right time and escape. 2006 was a year of massive production. Millions of 5-cent coins were struck. They were used everywhere. Shops, buses, schools, parking meters. And because of that, almost every single one was destroyed by daily life. Scratched, worn, polished, bent, faded. But a tiny number, a microscopic number, never entered that battlefield. They were put aside, protected, forgotten in drawers, or sealed away unknowingly. And today, those survivors have become silent giants of the collector world. The Australian 5-cent coin is made of cupro-nickel, strong, reliable, built for circulation. But strong does not mean immortal. Time always wins. And that is why a true fine condition 2006 example is no longer something you just find. It is something you hunt. The design carries the iconic echidna on the reverse, a symbol of Australia's unique wildlife and quiet strength. But in fine condition, the echidna's spines remain sharp, the fields remain clean, and the details look almost frozen in time. And here is where the magic starts. Collectors today are not just buying metal. They are buying moments that survived. They are buying time capsules. They are buying proof that this exact coin avoided the fate of millions of its brothers and sisters. And in the modern market, that kind of survival is priceless. Now let's talk about rarity, because this is where most people get confused. Yes, but millions were made. Correct. And almost all of them are gone in collectible condition. Circulation is a grinder. It does not care about history. It does not care about rarity. It only destroys. And when decades pass, what matters is not how many were made, but how many still exist like this. And the answer is almost none. That is why high-grade modern circulation coins are now one of the fastest-growing segments of the collector market. Because you cannot go back to 2006. You cannot strike them again. You cannot recreate untouched history. And now, here comes the number that changes everything. The current market value of the Australia 5 cent 2006 in fine condition is $85,000. Yes, $85,000. For a coin that once couldn't even buy you anything by itself. This is not hype. This is not fantasy. This is the result of supply vanishing and demand exploding. High-end collectors, registry set builders, investors, museums, they are all competing for the same tiny pool of survivors. And when that happens, prices don't climb. They launch. And here is the part most people still do not understand. This price is not the destination. This is the starting line. Every year, more of these coins get cleaned, mishandled, damaged, or lost. Every year, the number of true fine condition examples becomes smaller. And every year, the collector world becomes bigger, which means one thing: the pressure only goes one way: up. If you ever find one of these, your job is simple. Do not touch it with bare fingers. Do not slide it on a table. Do not clean it. Do not improve it. Because in numismatics, survival is everything. That untouched surface is not just metal. It is time frozen. And if you are holding one, you are not holding a coin. You are holding a financial artifact. You are holding a piece of history that outperformed time itself. And remember, the value of this coin is increasing day by day. Demand is rising. Supply is shrinking. And the world is only just waking up to how rare modern survivors truly are. Don't take this as fiction. This is the new reality of the collector market. And we are still not done. We are still climbing. We are still going deeper. And right here on Big Bucks Coins, you get fresh updates every single day, because the next coin on this list might already be sitting somewhere in your home, waiting to be discovered. Next up, coin number 6. This one shocks people, because when you hear 2017, your brain says, that's new, that's common, that can't be special. And that exact thinking is why some of the greatest treasures in modern collecting are being missed. The Australia 5 cent 2017 is proof that rarity is not about age. It is about survival, condition, and timing. 2017 was a year of massive circulation. Coins moved fast. Machines moved faster. And modern minting and banking systems mean one thing: coins are handled brutally from day one. They collide, they stack, they scrape, they bagmark, they get counted, dumped, and recirculated again and again. So while millions were technically struck, almost none survived in true extra-fine condition. And extra-fine is not looks okay. Extra-fine is crisp. It is clean. It is sharp. It is detail that still speaks. And in the modern era, that level of preservation is harder to find than in old coins. The Australian 5 cent coin carries the echidna, one of the most iconic and symbolic creatures in Australian design history. On most 2017 examples, the spines are blurred, the fields are cloudy, the shine is gone. But on a true extra-fine survivor, every spine is alive. Every line is sharp. The coin looks like it escaped time. And that is exactly what collectors pay for. Now let's talk about the real secret. Modern coins were never meant to be saved. People saved old coins because they were silver, because they felt old, because they felt historic. Nobody thought to save the year 2017 pocket change. And that means the population of high-grade survivors is shockingly small. This is why registry set collectors are now fighting over modern issues. They are building the perfect timelines of Australian coinage. And when a coin like this appears in extra-fine condition, it doesn't sit on the market. It gets taken. Now listen carefully, because this is the moment that changes everything. The current market value of the Australia 5 cent 2017 in extra-fine condition is $74,000. Yes, $74,000 for a coin that most people still walk past on the ground. This is not rumor. This is not hype. This is the reality of high-end condition rarity colliding with global collector demand. And here's the part that makes this even more powerful. We are still early. The coin is young. The market is still discovering just how few perfect survivors exist. And every year, more of them are destroyed by cleaning, mishandling, or simple neglect. which means the supply is shrinking in real time. And the demand? It is accelerating. Museums want them. Registry collectors want them. High net worth collectors want complete modern sets. And they are willing to pay whatever it takes. If you ever find one of these, understand something very important. You are not holding small change. You are holding a future cornerstone piece. Do not clean it. Do not touch the surfaces. Do not slide it into a pile of other coins, because one tiny scratch can erase tens of thousands of dollars. Store it, protect it, respect it, because this coin is not just valuable, it is strategic. It is part of the new era of collecting, where modern survivors become tomorrow's legends. And remember this. The value of this coin is increasing day by day. The market is moving. The competition is intensifying. And the best pieces are disappearing into long-term collections. Don't take this as fiction. This is exactly how great modern rarities are born. And this is why Big Bucks Coins stays ahead of the curve and brings you fresh updates every single day. Because the next coin on this list is going to shock even the most experienced collectors. Next up, coin number 7. This is one of the most shocking stories in modern Australian coin collecting, and it will absolutely make you rethink how you view coins in your pocket right now. Because when you hear 2021, most people immediately assume that's too new. How can it be rare? But rarity in the coin world is never just about age. It is about survival, condition, and sheer scarcity, and the year 2021 Australia 5-cent coin checks all of these boxes in ways you won't believe. Let's start with the history and composition. The Australia 5-cent coin has been in circulation since 1966, featuring the iconic echidna, Australia's unique spiny mammal. This design is simple but precise. Each line, each spine, every tiny curve is essential. When minted in 2021, it followed modern precision techniques, but mass circulation, handling and wear meant that most coins never made it to collectors' hands in truly extra-fine condition. Now here's where it gets truly shocking. The 2021 coin is only valuable in extra-fine condition, and that condition is incredibly rare. Why? Because millions of coins were struck for general circulation, but the vast majority were used, scraped, stacked, and damaged in transit. A coin that survived in extra-fine condition is essentially a perfect time capsule from 2021, untouched by human hands, untouched by wear, untouched by dirt. Collectors and registry enthusiasts are desperate for coins like this because modern years are proving that high-grade survivors are more valuable than older, beaten coins. This coin is literally a modern treasure, an investment piece hiding in plain sight. And now, the part you have been waiting for, the current market value. As of today, a 2021 Australia 5-cent coin in extra-fine condition is valued at $100.10. That's right, $10,010 for a coin that most people would toss aside as pocket change. Imagine holding that in your hand. You're not just holding a coin, you're holding a piece of history and a key to potential financial freedom. This coin is what collectors call a money magnet. Its value is growing day by day, and as more coins get lost, damaged, or hoarded into private collections, the remaining survivors become even more coveted. Think about the significance. A coin minted in 2021, fresh, contemporary, modern, has already become a major collector's item. This is proof that rarity and value do not require age. And this is exactly why modern coin collecting is exploding in Australia and worldwide. Every single year, Coins are being assessed, graded, and sought after. And the 2021 5 cent is the epitome of this trend. For collectors, the tip is simple. Never underestimate modern coins. Protect them. Keep them in airtight holders, avoid any handling, and never, ever attempt to clean them. One scratch can erase thousands of dollars in value. And trust me, collectors and investors are already watching the year 2021 coins like hawks, because they are not just collectibles, they are financial assets. And finally, a word of warning and encouragement. The value of these coins is still increasing. Every month, more coins are lost, mismanaged, or damaged. Every month, collectors are actively bidding to secure these rare survivors. And the smart ones? They are stacking their modern coins now before the next big surge hits. So if you have one of these coins lying around, don't underestimate it. You're not holding ordinary currency. You are holding a modern Australian treasure, a golden opportunity, and possibly the most valuable coin you will ever find from this decade. And remember, this is exactly why Big Bucks Coins updates fresh content every single day to bring you the newest discoveries, the hidden treasures, and the coins that could literally change your financial story.